Chapter 1351, Chaotic Battle. Kill. Charge. Block them. We need more time. Don't be afraid. So what if this is Zhua Yi Hui? The Gu formation is around. We can last until reinforcements arrive from our clans. Shadow Sect attacked, while Southern Border's Righteous Path defended desperately. The third layer of the Gu formation was already half destroyed. Cracks could be seen everywhere. It was of little help to the Righteous Path Gu Immortals. A chaotic battle ensued. Rumble, unceasing explosions, the collisions of wind, fire, water, and lightning unfolded like fireworks in the sky. There was no probing. Immortal Gu and Immortal Killer moves were used from the start. The battle became heated almost instantly. You cannot defend this place. Fairy Miao Yin smiled as she flew in the air. Xiao Silu was in front of her. Xiao Silu was silent. The situation had changed too quickly. Earlier, the Righteous Path had the advantage, but now they were at a disadvantage. Even with the Super Gu formation, they could only defend passively. They lost their initiative. For the Righteous Path Gu Immortals, their only chance was to wait for reinforcements. Who are you people? You can actually mobilize the legendary immemorial desolate beast Zhua Yi Hui. Xiao Si Lu asked, paying close attention. Fairy Miao Yin laughed. The ones to end your life. Her killing intent rose. A crescent moon shadow appeared in her eyes. Immortal Killer move. Curved moon. This was a sight-based attack. Because the aura was completely concealed, once it was used, one would not be able to react in time. It was very difficult to guard against. Xiao Si Lu was hit immediately, but soon, on the surface of her dress and skin, jade green light shone. Within the faint light, long willow branches formed. It was like ribbons made of branches coiling around her. She resembled a fairy from heaven. Swish, swish, swish. The jade willow branches were not just defensive. They quickly flew towards Fairy Miao Yin with impressive mobility. Fairy Miao Yin was stunned. She quickly retreated. She avoided the willow branches, but could not defend against the shadow below them. One of the shadows shot up like a venomous snake, slapping Fairy Miao Yin's body. This is an attached move? Fairy Miao Yin could not conceal the shock on her beautiful face. Attached moves were like consecutive moves, split moves, and variation moves. They were special techniques in activating killer moves. They were hard to master for normal people. What was an attached move? Normally speaking, it meant two different immortal killer moves, one primary and one secondary. Like the willow branch attack that Xiao Silu used, it was the primary move. The shadows below the branches were the secondary move, attached to the primary move. When the primary move was used, the secondary move would have a certain chance of getting activated as well, unleashing its effects. Fairy Miao Yin did not expect that Xiao Si Lu would actually master such a difficult technique like attached move. She was caught off guard and was hit by the willow branch's shadow that a long wound appeared as blood started to flow out that on Fairy Miao Yin's beautiful face. It was really apparent. Xiao Si Lu tittered. Oh no, I lost my concentration and disfigured you. If we fight anymore, you'll no longer be on par with me in beauty. Fairy Miao Yin snorted. Xiao Si Lu took the initiative and attacked. There were countless jade willow branches around her. These rootless willows were formed from the killer move. They were agile and resembled dozens of long whips, lashing at Fairy Miao Yin. The attacks became more frequent. It was like a jade storm. Fairy Miao Yin was shrouded in whips. Not only did she need to defend against the whips, she also had to guard against their shadows. After all, a whip might come out at any time and attack Fairy Miao Yin. Splat, splat, splat. Lashing sounds were endless. Even though Fairy Miao Yin was putting up her defense, her clothes were still torn by the whips. Fairy Miao Yin retreated as she used her hands to shield herself from the willow branches that a moment later, her clothes were torn and her snow-white body was exposed. It was beautiful and alluring. Men would have a nosebleed upon seeing her. Xiao Si Lu pursued her along the way. But good times did not last. Her opponent suddenly cried out as a pair of slender hands appeared on her back. Fairy Miao Yin had 4 arms now. Her 4 arms defended herself as Fairy Miao Yin restored her steady position. It was easy for her to block those willows now. Xiao Si Lu sighed to herself. This was a mortal killer move. Wondrous hand, profound sound. Fairy Miao Yin's signature killer move. Xiao Si Lu knew of it. She had attacked rapidly earlier to catch Fairy Miao Yin off guard. To maintain her pressure, and prevent her from regaining her composure. However, Xiao Silu's tactic failed. Fairy Miao Yin managed to use this move in the end. Even though Fairy Miao Yin was facing huge pressure, she was not a newbie like Zhao Lianyun. Fairy Miao Yin did not make an error. She withstood the pressure and used her killer move successfully. With her success, the situation changed. Xiao Silu slowly flew backwards, stopping her attacks and starting a battle of attrition using the damaged Gu formation as she retreated. She had left the super Gu formation when pursuing Fairy Miao Yin. It was wise to return. It is my turn now, Sister Silu. You have to endure it. Fairy Miao Yin smiled, but her gaze was very dark. 4 hands started to move rapidly. Her smooth, long fingers were moving in a dazzling motion. Ding ding, dang dang, cling cling, clang clang. With the movement of her fingers, sharp sounds could be heard whenever they touched. The sounds even caused sound waves to start appearing in the surrounding air. The sound waves were moving rapidly, with Fairy Miao Yin at the center. It quickly spread to the radius of a few hundred steps. The damaged third layer of the Gu formation was breaking apart many times as quickly with the effect of the sound. The sound waves appeared quickly and vanished just as quickly. Xiao Silu had a solemn expression. She quickly defended herself, as willow branches surrounded her entire body. The two were in a deadlock. And at another hole, Shang Clan Gu Immortal Shang Guili crossed his arms as he stood in front of the hole. Looking at He Lu Lan, that he had arrogance and disdain on his face. Just a rank 6 Gu Immortal. You dare to attack us. You are truly courting death. I will kill you first before reinforcing my allies. Saying this, he vanished on the spot. The next moment, he appeared behind He Lu Lan. Next, he stretched out his right hand as it turned into a white bone claw, scratching at He Lu Lan's back. Plopped out a soft sound echoed. The white bone claw ripped apart He Lu Lan's defensive method, stabbing into her back as blood splattered upon impact. He Lu Lan shouted in anger, turning around to retaliate. Shang Guili vanished on the spot again, appearing in the damaged formation once more. He Lu Lan missed her attack. She growled in anger. Her expression was twisted. There were 5 deep wounds on her back. Shang Guili mocked in disdain. You're nothing much. I will take your life in the next hit him. But suddenly, his expression changed on his white bone claw. He Lu Lan's flesh and blood were burning in flames. The fire was extremely special. It grew as it burned. In the blink of an eye, it covered Shang Guili's entire right hand. You fell for it so easily. He Lu Lan laughed. Immortal killer move, flesh blood fire. Dragon Man. A middle-aged Gu Immortal with huge nostrils, Chai Huaxiong, was bare on his upper body. He had a wide back and waist. His body's muscles were glowing red, like he was on fire. Every time he breathed, smoke came out of his nostrils. He was brutish and domineering. He stood on the spot and blocked the hole in the Gu formation behind him. At least you are knowledgeable. Bai Ning Bing had a plain expression. She stretched out her right arm. Her jade fingers were covered in frost energy as snowflakes descended from the sky. Boom! A loud sound occurred around Chai Huaxiong. The ground caved in as he shot out like a cannonball, charging towards Bai Ning Bing. Take this! Chai Huaxiong shouted in the air. Large amounts of flames flew out of his nose and nose. Even his pores were flaming. In an instant, raging flames filled Bai Ning Bing's vision. Bai Ning Bing had a cold gaze. She did not dodge. She watched as Chai Huaxiong got closer. Her lips curled up. She called out in excitement. Come at me. Before she finished her words, she charged forward. Her body was tiny compared to Chai Huaxiong. This was like the collision of a fly towards a flame. Boom! An intense explosion. Both sides attacked and were locked in the middle, dividing this battlefield into two. To half was flame and half was frost. They were repelling each other. Flames flickered with the power to burn all life forms, while the frost solidified the earth into an icy domain, freezing all life forms. Flames could not melt the frost, and the frost could not freeze the flames. There was no clear victor. When the flames and frost vanished, 2 figures appeared on each end. Bai Ning Bing stood on the spot. Excitement and concentration was evident in her dragon eyes. On the other end, the domineering Chai Clan Gu Immortal took several steps back, looking at Bai Ning Bing in disbelief. Impossible. You are only a rank 6 Gu Immortal. Bai Ningbing smiled and her icy white teeth were exposed. I praised you for being knowledgeable earlier. It seems that I need to take that back. The moment she said need to, Bai Ningbing charged ahead again. When she finished her words, she was right in front of Chai Huaxiong. She jumped into the sky, and her right arm was raised up. She was like a deity of snow descending to the world, bringing with her an endless blizzard. Her divine might was unstoppable. Next, Bai Ningbing's right arm slashed down at Chai Huaxiong like a giant sharp blade. White Rabbit, you slut, die. Wu Liao had bloodshot eyes, filled with rage and hatred. Even though he was not on good terms with Wu En as they disliked each other, they were still Wu Clan Gu immortals. Now that White Rabbit killed Wu En, Wu Liao attacked with hatred, wanting to avenge Wu En, but it was a pity. Lady White Rabbit, who had transformed, or rather, Black Tigress, had rank 7 cultivation level. Her battle strength had surged dramatically. Wu Liao was just a rank 6 Gu immortal. He could do nothing to Lady White Rabbit. Instead, his own life was in danger. Step down, Wu Liao. You are not her match. Fang Yuan blocked Wu Liao, who was going to fight. He had cold killing intent as he stood in front of Lady White Rabbit. Chapter 1352. Fang Yuan vs. Black Tigress. Black Tigress had a strange laugh. Her beautiful appearance looked very twisted. Her clear, innocent eyes were filled with sinister light. There were deep bags under her eyes, like she had not slept for a long time. Her eyeshadow was thick, like the wings of a black butterfly, extending from her eyes to her brows. Even though her appearance did not change much, she had turned sinister and vicious. Her demeanor had changed completely. The innocent and weak form was worlds apart from this. White Rabbit, true inheritance. Interesting. Fang Yuan's body shined in bright light. When the light faded, Fang Yuan had turned into a huge tortoise. Immortal killer move. Divination tortoise transformation. GUH. The rank 7 formation path. Gu Immortal Chi Gue coughed out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, damn it. He cursed continuously, looking ahead at the fragmented corpse of the immortal Gu floating in front of him. This immortal Gu was originally damaged by Zhuoyi Hui's attack. Earlier, when Chi Gue wanted to activate the second layer of the Super Gu formation, this immortal Gu reached its limit and broke. The Gu formation activation failed. There would be a chain reaction and cause other immortal Gu to be damaged. Chi Gue had to use his own body to endure the backlash of the collapsing Gu formation in order to keep it from being destroyed, but he got injured in the process. Is the injury severe? Bada quickly came to check. Chi Gue swallowed the blood in his mouth. He had a pale expression like that of a dead person. Very severe. This destroyed immortal Gu is one of the main pillars. The second layer of the Gu formation has 300,000 Gu worms, but there are only 4 immortal Gu of such importance. We need to find a replacement and activate the second layer of the Gu formation. This Gu formation has many linked layers. Without the second layer, the first layer will not be able to activate. After pausing for a while, Chi Gue shouted with a frantic expression. Anyone who has Earth Path Immortal Gu, I need one pass to me. Now is the moment of life and death. Beside him, Ba Quan Fong and Ba De looked at each other helplessly. The former was a Wind Path Gu Immortal, while the latter was Wood Path. They did not have Earth Path Immortal Gu. Chi Gue had to heal his injuries. Ba Quan Fong and Ba De went to ask around. The reason why they had to ask one by one was because he needed to try and conceal this disastrous information. After all, mental state affected battle strength. The fewer people who knew, the better. Thankfully, among the 5 regions, Southern Border had the most Earth Path Gu Immortals. Soon, some people spoke up. They were willing to contribute their Earth Path Immortal Gu. Chi Gue had to choose. It was not easy to choose the Earth Path Immortal Gu, but he had to try and find the one closest to the one that was destroyed. Chi Gue's injuries had not healed, but he could not care. Next, I need to deduce this and try to add that Earth Path Immortal Gu into this Gu formation. My safety will be in your hands. This act was very risky. He was placing his life in the hands of others. But Chi Gue had a determined expression. He did not hesitate. He knew that there was no other way now. Time was pressing. He needed to gamble. Ba De had a solemn expression, nodding. I promise that I will defend your life. Even if Zhuo Yihui comes, he will have to step over my corpse first. He was sincere. These were not lies. In this situation, even if Bada had high battle strength, he could not resist Zhua Yihui. The battle could not be turned around. He was not Feng Jiugu or Feng Yuan, who had reverse flow protection sealed. Beata did not know that Wu Clan's immortal Gu house was on the way. But the moment Shadow Sect attacked, he had immediately used his information path methods to inform Ba Clan. There were other Gu immortals who did the same thing, defending with all they had. That was the only way for everyone to survive. Like this, Qi Gui's attention and concentration was focused on the Gu formation. And Bada, who had the highest battle strength, was leading the group in defending the place. With Wu Clan and Xiao Clan in trouble, their reputation had fallen greatly. Ba Clan's Bada became the most suitable leader. Beata did not let go of this chance as the most important person to protect Qi Gui. He stayed at the back and observed the battlefield. All in all, the Righteous Path's defense was quite stable. The Righteous Path Gu immortal elites were using the damaged Gu formation. They could retreat in time. Meanwhile, even though the demonic path Gu immortals arrived imposingly, they lacked strong experts. It was not that southern border had no demonic path or lone immortal experts, but most of them had died in Etian Mountain. Even though the Righteous Path also suffered great losses in that battle, compared to the demonic path, the Righteous Path was more stable. It was easier to produce Gu immortal experts with abundant resources. One could imagine, unless something happened. At this rate, for the following period of time, Southern Border's Righteous Path would greatly suppress the demonic path. And lone cultivators that Beata's gaze swept past Fairy Miao Yin, He Lu Lan, and by Ning Bing's battlefield, eventually looking at Feng Yuan, Wu Yihai. He muttered this name, feeling some emotions in the past. He wanted to suppress Wu Yihai and teach Wu Clan a lesson. But now, they had to work together. Bada had a lot of ambition. He wanted to replace Wu Clan and make Ba Clan flourish. But now, with this strong enemy, he was willing to work with Wu Yihai. He had an open mind. Of course, this was temporary. Once the crisis ended, Bada would deal with them again. With this event, Bada had a huge hold on Feng Yuan. Before the mishap occurred in Wu Clan and Xiao Clan, Bada had been holding himself back. He did not use the immortal opportunity business to find trouble with him. He had endured until now. There were finally results to be shown. Black Tigress jumped around. She was very agile, evading many Vajra thoughts. After her personality changed, this former Lady White Rabbit started to use dark path methods. Not just that, her rank 6 cultivation level turned to rank 7. It was simply unreasonable, but no matter how fast she moved, she was merely a bit faster than Feng Yuan's thoughts. Times were different now. If this was Feng Yuan had just obtained Vajra thought, Immortal Gu, he might not have been able to handle Black Tigress. But now, Feng Yuan was very familiar with this move. Thoughts scattered like rain, assaulting her and cooperating with each other, forming a huge web of attacks. Even though Black Tigress dodged them, she was still going to be overwhelmed by the countless thoughts. Immortal Killer Move. Cornered Tiger. Realizing that she was in a disadvantage, Black Tigress' aura burst out as her toes landed lightly on the ground. Black liquid started to spread on the ground. A breath of time later, the water expanded to the size of a pond. 2 breaths of time later, the black water started to bubble. 3 breaths of time later, a lizard sup, 1/sup, with the size of a horse emerged from the black water. This lizard was black in color and had shiny eyes. It was not real. It was made from the Dark Path Killer Move. The lizard moved rapidly, spreading its limbs and moving like the wind, bringing Black Tigress to its back as she charged away. Compared to Black Tigress, Feng Yuan, who had turned into a divination tortoise, looked very slow. After he transformed, he stopped moving. He blocked the whole of the Gu formation. Even though Feng Yuan did not move, the Vajra thoughts he created were like tiny tortoise shells. They moved agilely and circulated around the divination tortoise's body with an incredible number. Since the battle started, Feng Yuan had been using Vajra shell. The tortoise shell thoughts flew rapidly. Feng Yuan had a composed plan. He first used these thoughts to defend himself before sending the new ones outside. Black Tigress stood on top of the black lizard. She could move with ease, but she gritted her teeth on the surface. Her speed was an advantage. She had the initiative. But the truth was, she needed to get past Feng Yuan's obstruction to attack the damaged formation. but Fang Yuan was blocking her way. Black Tigress tried to move every which way, trying to get past Fang Yuan. She moved around these tortoiseshell thoughts and exposed vulnerability on purpose, but Fang Yuan did not fall for it. He defended himself firmly and continued to push Black Tigress out. Fang Yuan was a bit wary of Black Tigress' trump card. Even though Fang Yuan did not know its name, he saw how Wuan had turned into a puddle of black water after he got hit by it unknowingly. Black Tigress prepared that move for me. She wanted to meet me, but I rejected her. Thus, she used it on Wuan. This means that the move has a small range. It is quite limited. Like dark assassination, even though the aura is concealed and it has great power, the flaw is evident. Fang Yuan created more and more thoughts. The tortoiseshell thoughts were moving around without any gaps. It was terrifying. Black Tigress had to retreat, seeing so many tortoise shells. She was so angry her chest was moving up and down. This tortoise transformation really suits you, Lord Wu Yihai. She grinned, showing a cruel smile filled with killing intent. However, don't think my methods are just these. Take this. Saying so, Black Tigress opened her mouth and aimed at Fang Yuan, sticking out her tiny tongue. Her tongue was cute and pinkish, but her lips were black like ink. It was a clear contrast of black lips and pink tongue. Her tongue moved rapidly. It was like a cute neighbor's daughter making a funny face. But Fang Yuan felt a chill down his spine. He suffered a heavy injury. He quickly turned around and looked. He saw a tiny hole on his shell. This hole was only the size of a basin. It was nothing compared to the giant tortoise's size. But it was very deep. The wound was spreading outwards. Black smoke could be seen rising from the hole, making a cracking sound. Chapter 1353, Tiger Lick. Fang Yuan's heart shook. What killer move is this? The divination tortoise's shell is the hardest thing on its body, yet it could not endure this attack. Even though my sovereign immortal body has the trait of non-conflicting Tao marks, my tough, ancient, desolate beast body still suffered such injuries. Black Tigress' battle strength was out of Fang Yuan's expectations. Her method was peculiar and could bypass even the divination tortoise's defense. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan did not dare to hold back. He quickly used rank 7 Immortal Goo precaution. This rule path Immortal Goo had already been added into Vajra Shell by Fang Yuan. Immediately, the original Vajra Shell killer move stopped working. A brand new Vajra Shell killer move was activated. Whoosh! Wind was created out of nowhere. The divination tortoise's aura changed. The brand new Vajra Shell killer move used a large number of time path Mortal Goo. Their effect was to eliminate the weakness of precaution Immortal Goo needing 10 breaths of time. Thus, once Vajra Shell was activated, precaution Immortal Goo's effect became active at once. The small tortoise shell thoughts expanded and became firmer. At the same time, the divination tortoise's main body started to shine in a metallic light. It also became darker. Black Tigress saw this, and her expression changed. She licked again. The two were far away. But Fang Yuan still suffered injuries despite the distance. There was another hole on the tortoise shell, but this time, it was only the size of an adult's fist. The injury was light, and there was no black smoke. The wound earlier had already stopped producing black smoke. The injury was expanding very slowly. Black Tigress snorted coldly. Feeling unresigned, she muttered, "In that case, I will attack there." At the next moment, Fang Yuan felt his tortoise head go numb. Immediately, pain assaulted him. There was also a numb feeling as well. The injuries were not light. Fang Yuan quickly placed his head into the shell. Damn it! Black Tigress saw this, and her eyes spewed fire from rage. Fang Yuan was very shameless. Not just his head. His limbs and tail also went into the shell. Only the tortoise shell thoughts were still spinning and increasing in numbers, raising his defensive power and range once more. Black Tigress licked the tortoise shell continuously, but there was little use. She was in a predicament. There was nothing she could do to Fang Yuan. Wu Liao healed his injuries as he watched the battle. Seeing this, he broke out in sweat. He thought, at this rate, when will Lord Wu Yihai be able to take revenge for Wuan? How many years would it take? Bada snorted in unhappiness. The other holes had intense battles, but Fang Yuan was calm and composed. There was little commotion. Fang Yuan easily hid inside his shell. He was thinking rapidly about Black Tigress' killer move. Killer moves could be directed to targets in certain ways. For example, a fireball killer move may need to form in the hands first, before being shot out towards the target, to have any form of impact. But where it flew, in what direction, and towards what target, that would depend on the direction that the killer move was designed to move. Wherever the move was directed towards, the fireball would fly there. If the targeting was not impressive, the fireball would move straight. After leaving the hands, its direction could not be changed anymore. But if the targeting ability was stronger, the fireball would be able to move in a curved manner. After leaving the hands, its direction could be tweaked slightly, and even stronger ones would have automatic homing abilities. Black Tiger's killer move must also have a targeting ability. It is formless after activation. It is not as obvious as a fireball, but it definitely has a targeting ability. Because it is not a wide-ranged attack, the damage is concentrated. Then how does it do that? By sight. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan activated his goo worms, creating a thick fog around the divination tortoise, surrounding it. What is this Wu Yihai trying to do? Black Tigress was suspicious that Fang Yuan was using a new killer move. She quickly stretched out her tongue and licked towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was hit again. Not sight? Is it smell? Fang Yuan used his method again. The fog became extremely smelly. Wu Liao, who was close by to him, had a twisted expression as he quickly used his goo worms to breathe internally. The smell spread in the air. Soon, other battlefields were looking over. Wu Yihai is actually trying to break the other party's killer move. Bada's eyes shined. He could see Fang Yuan's motive. He snorted as the displeasure in his heart grew. There was usually little hope of breaking an enemy's killer move on the spot. Experimentation was needed, and even if the reasoning was understood, there might not be the necessary immortal goo or method to counter it. Trying to break a killer move, it would result in a drawn-out battle. This is an emergency, but he still has the time to break the killer move? If he has time, he should try to kill the enemy. Ba Quanfeng expressed the unhappiness in his heart. Beata did not say anything. Now was not the time for internal conflict. Black Tigress hesitated for a moment. She stretched out her tongue and licked again. Another hole appeared on Fang Yuan's shell. Fang Yuan had a flash of inspiration. I get it. This is her sense of taste. Normally speaking, taste was experienced through the tongue, and goo immortals' tongues were able to taste things from afar through immortal goo or killer moves. It was not hard. Every time she activates it, Black Tigress needs to stretch out her tongue. She and Shadow Sect are aligned, while Shadow Sect has food path true inheritances. Only such a non-standard path can deal such damage to my defensive divination tortoise transformation. Let me test it. The divination tortoise turned red, especially the shell. It was red as molten iron. Black Tigress licked and immediately cringed. Arg, so hot. The divination tortoise's redness faded. There was a strange smell in the sky. Black Tigress stretched out her tongue and licked. She almost puked from disgust. She frowned. So salty. The divination tortoise transformation changed again. Black Tigress stopped trying. She understood Fang Yuan's intention. This guy? He is actually trying to counter my killer move. He is not trying to use any immortal killer moves. Damn it. Black Tigress thought earlier that the divination tortoise's changes were the start of Fang Yuan's new immortal killer move. Thus, she interfered with him time and time again. Once she succeeded, Fang Yuan would suffer an intense backlash. She would have hope of passing this huge tortoise-shell obstacle. Under such a situation, he still has time to try to deduce and counter my killer move. Fang Yuan's movements were not logical. The battle was so intense now. Nobody had any time for this. But precisely so, Black Tigress fell for it. After realizing this, Black Tigress stopped using this move. She started to use other long-range methods. She punched with both fists as dark green fist chi moved around the troublesome tortoiseshell thoughts. Some were wiped out, but some managed to land on the divination tortoiseshell. Even though the damage was little, each time the punches landed, Fang Yuan's body shook uncontrollably. Evidently, this immortal killer move had rule path goo worms. Black Tigress was trying to prevent Fang Yuan from using an immortal killer move. It was a good strategy. It was taste, huh? Fang Yuan's head was still inside his shell. Even though he had a result, it was still far from truly breaking Black Tigress' move. Fang Yuan, however, was not in a rush. Black Tigress could not use this move anymore. Her punches were of little harm to Fang Yuan. The original Wu Yihai had other methods, but they were all defensive in nature. Black Tigress was really overthinking it when she guarded against Fang Yuan's attacking moves. Even though he had them, with this identity, he could not use them. If he tried, he would incur huge suspicions. His identity was likely to be exposed. Thus, this battle slowed down tremendously. Fang Yuan did not want to attack, or rather, he had no attacking moves, while Black Tigress could not go past this shell. After a long time, there were already 100,000 tortoise shells around Fang Yuan. Black Tigress felt like she was helpless. The vast number of tortoise shells made this an incredibly eye-catching sight in the battlefield. Baida's expression became even colder. He could not help but transmit. Wu Yihai, I heard you have 2 more transformations. Why are you still holding back? Quickly kill her and reinforce the others. Unless you really have some relationship with this white rabbit, you can't bear to kill her. Fang Yuan heard Baida's transmissions but ignored him, pretending not to hear anything. Beida did not get a reply. He gritted his teeth in anger. His gaze towards Fang Yuan turned colder. Fang Yuan was thinking about his situation. Shadow Sect is definitely attacking to save Spectral Soul's main body. They control Zhuo Yihui, but the extent is limited, and the rank 8 Gu Immortal Purple Mountain True Monarch has not shown up yet. The Righteous Path has the Super Gu formation. We can hold on for a while. As long as we stall for time, reinforcements will come from all over. And I have Reverse Flow Protection Seal. I can resist rank 8 existences. They will not be able to defeat me. Purple Mountain True Monarch is a Wisdom Path Gu Immortal. How can he not have a trump card? And these Righteous Path Gu Immortals are far from being desperate now. I should conceal my identity and wait for a chance to take action. Maybe this time, I might have some great gains. Fang Yuan thought about it and realized this was a great opportunity, that he had sufficient strength, but he needed to wait for the right timing. Shadow Sect was a huge threat to him. He wanted to exterminate them all. But Fang Yuan had not succeeded in any of his attempts so far. It was not that he did not try, or that he was not determined enough, but Shadow Sect's group was made of elites and geniuses. But now was a grand opportunity. Chapter 1354, The Might of He and Bai. Fang Yuan had thought that his pursuit would have no chance, but to think that Shadow Sect personally presented Fang Yuan this great opportunity, because of Sovereign Immortal Fetus Gu, Shadow Sect would not let Fang Yuan off. If Fang Yuan did not get rid of them and allowed Shadow Sect to grow further, he would end up like Ma Hongyun in the end. After he got rid of Shadow Sect, who would know about Fang Yuan's identity? Eliminating this biggest threat was Fang Yuan's best option. He could even get rid of the weakness of Connect Luck. After that, he would slowly develop and cultivate using the Dream Realm. Because of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, Fang Yuan had the greatest foundation in the world. 500 years later, Fang Yuan would have incredible strength, be it his cultivation level, battle strength, or wealth. It would be unimaginable. Fang Yuan does not know that the Great Era is already impending. During the 5 Regions Chaotic War, he could either take advantage of the situation for opportunities or fight with brute strength. Heavenly Court might not even be able to do anything to him. If the situation developed well, by the time he reached rank 9, he would be one step closer to his goal of eternal life. This was Fang Yuan's cultivation plan. It was very realistic. Now was the best chance to get rid of Shadow Sect. How could Fang Yuan give it up? And Shadow Sect had no idea Fang Yuan was here. Fang Yuan was the one concealed. Who knew that Wu Yihai was him? Nobody in the Righteous Path knew. Even his brother, Wu Yong, had no idea. Undoubtedly, eliminating Wu Yihai and impersonating him to join Wu clan was a brilliant move. Even though there was a risk, if he did not do that, how would Fang Yuan get this prime opportunity? Fang Yuan had to make use of it. I might even be able to capture Spectral Soul's main body. With Spectral Soul's main body, I would be able to interrogate the soul and obtain all of Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's cultivation memories and experiences. All of his soul path experiences, his perspective and gains in the door of life and death, countless Gu recipes, killer moves, and secrets. Fang Yuan's greatest desire was lead soul into dream. With this killer move, as well as Unravel Dream and Guts Gu, Fang Yuan would be the #1 person in this world in terms of dream realm exploration. he would have an immense advantage. The entire world would be left in the dust. Even heavenly court. Ding ding ding. Sound waves could be seen as ripples. All around Xiao Si Lu. Fairy Miao Yin's arms had grown to 6 in number. Her fingers were moving elegantly. Her attacks were much more intense than before. Xiao Si Lu, however, was able to defend herself well. Her pupils had turned jade. Her black hair had turned into willow branches that extended to her waist. The two southern border fairies were still in a deadlock. Damn it. I can't block it. I need to escape. A demonic path Gu Immortal retreated as resolution flashed in his eyes. Boom! An intensely strong aura burst out from behind him. Cowardly rat, die! A righteous path Gu Immortal shouted, stretching out his hand and grabbing the demonic path Gu Immortal's head. Next, lightning flashed and thunder roared. Deep blue lightning bolts shrouded this battlefield. The lightning flashes lasted for a moment before stopping. The opponent that the righteous path Gu Immortal was holding onto had turned into a charred skeleton with a barely observable human shape. Humph, rat that doesn't know his limits. He dared to act arrogantly in front of me. Ihei. Ting. The righteous path Gu Immortal relaxed the grip of his hand as the demonic path Gu Immortal's corpse fell to the ground, shattering into tiny black pieces. Everyone, your attacks are only like this? A righteous path Gu Immortal with a slender body and tall nose bridge spoke with arrogance and disappointment. Don't be smug. Tai Clan's Tai xianxia. We have been suppressing you all along. You have the face to say ugh. The three Gu Immortals who were attacking Tai xianxia ridiculed him, but their expressions suddenly changed as a strong and sharp aura burst into the sky, emitted from Tai xianxia's body. The three Gu Immortals quickly moved back, feeling on guard. Wind was blowing all around him, causing his clothes to flutter, but Tai xianxia had calm emotions. He shut his eyes as he said slowly, "It is useless. I have already seen all your moves. All of your weaknesses are right before me with no secrets left. F***ck your mother." A Gu Immortal cursed, but before he finished, his body shook intensely. Puff puff puff. 3 sounds later, 3 waves of sword chi flashed, so quickly that it felt like an illusion. Heads flew. The 3 Gu Immortals who were attacking Tai xianxia were beheaded, losing all their vitality. Huh? Hei Lulan laughed loudly. She had severe injuries. Shang Guili had rank 7 cultivation level, but he looked at Hei Lulan with shock and wariness. He was no longer as relaxed as before. As expected of a Northern Plains Gu Immortal, you are a battle maniac. Shang Buli was unwilling to give in, but his injuries were already close to his bottom line. Retreat. This thought appeared in his mind. Hei Lulan seemed to have noticed it as she mockingly smiled. Where do you want to escape to? What do you mean? Shang Guili immediately felt something amiss. A strong sense of danger filled his heart. Whoosh! Flames burst out of his mouth, before spewing out of his eye sockets, ears, nose, and other orifices, blazing rampantly. Instantly, Shang Guili was turned into a pillar of fire. His anguished cries resounded in the battlefield before he died. Hei Lulan stared with a cold expression. So what if you are rank 7? Quick, quick, I need more reinforcements. Chai Huaxiong retreated as he screamed. Compared to his earlier demeanor, he had lost all his fighting spirit. Fear and anxiety filled his eyes. Before him, Dragon Lady by Ning Bing walked slowly, approaching him step by step. She was extremely beautiful. It could move one's soul. But in Chai Huaxiong's perspective, she was extremely dangerous. He wanted nothing more than to escape the battlefield. But in this situation, at this time and place, if he tried to leave the battlefield, wouldn't he just become Zhuo Yihui's food? Chai Huaxiong could only fight reluctantly. Bai Ningbing's battle strength was even higher than Hei Lulan. Because she had Bai Xiang's true inheritance, and all of the ice and snow path immortal Gu were compatible with her northern dark ice soul physique. Meanwhile, even though Hei Lulan had the great strength true martial physique, she used fire path immortal Gu, and the fire path methods her aunt left behind. She did not have much Dao mark amplification. Chai Huaxiong had already requested for help once, but Bai Ningbing killed the backup already. Of course, Bai Ningbing paid a price for it.ba. Da was commanding the battle. Upon hearing Chai Huaxiong's yells, his attention was drawn over. Tai xianxia, please go and help Chai Huaxiong. Bada thought before transmitting. Okay. Tai Xianxian immediately flew into the sky, towards Bai Ningbing. His aura was stunning. He immediately attracted Bai Ningbing's attention. Her dragon pupils shrunk to pin size as an immortal killer move was activated. My aid is here. Seeing Tai Xianxian's figure, Chai Huaxiong felt great joy. But at this moment, because he relaxed his mind slightly, Bai Ningbing noticed his weakness, and her immortal killer move was unleashed. I want you to die. Tai Xianxian, who was one moment late, burst out with rage. He could only watch helplessly as Chai Huaxiong turned into a popsicle, breaking apart into countless ice fragments. Bai Ningbing smiled, but her expression was plain. She looked at Tai Xianxian, saying calmly, My move is called Ice Shatter Death. Do you want to try it? Chai Huaxiong has been sacrificed. Even though this dragon lady is rank 6, her battle strength is first-rate even among rank 7s. Bada's heart sank. He rapidly looked around the battlefield. The defensive line was still being maintained. The righteous path had the advantage, even though they were relying on the damaged third layer of the Gu formation. Even though there were sacrifices, Shadow Sect had even more deaths. Their morale had fallen. Some were wavering. The enemy only has 4 true experts. They are Lady White Rabbit, Demoness Miao Yin, the Dragon Lady, and that Fire Path rank 6, Hei Lulan. As long as we eliminate one of them, their morale will suffer a huge blow. Thinking of this, Bada's attention fell on Feng Yuan again. Feng Yuan had turned into a divination tortoise. He was still at the same spot with his limbs and head inside the shell. But there were already 300,000 tortoise-shell thoughts. They swept through the battlefield. Black Tigress was pushed far away. Beata snorted again in anger, transmitting to Feng Yuan. Wu Yihai, stop defending. As a Wu Clan Gu immortal, do you have no courage to fight? Are you so afraid of dying? Let me tell you, you are an important person in this fight. You are the best hope to create an opening in this battle. As long as you kill Black Tigress and reinforce other areas, there will be a qualitative change. The balance will tilt towards our favor. Feng Yuan, the divination tortoise, was like a mountain, not reacting to his words. Damn it. This fellow is still acting like this now. I simply cannot believe it. Bada gritted his teeth, feeling stifled. I'm done. At this moment, Chi Gue opened his eyes. He stood up from the ground with a joyful expression. Success? Ba Quanfeng asked excitedly. Yes, I have already finished the deduction. Now, we have to arrange the Gu formation and activate the second layer. This super Gu formation has greater defense as we get deeper into the layers. It is not a problem to block Grey Knight. Chi Gue nodded. Good. Bada heard this and let out a sigh of relief. He looked at Zhuo Yihui, who was far away. This legendary, immemorial, desolate beast was still exhausted. It did not move from its original spot. It was still breathing and deeply in Bada's heart. This legendary, immemorial, desolate beast was the greatest worry. Most of his pressure came from it. The situation is favoring our righteous path. Bada felt joy and gladness, but Feng Yuan was far less optimistic. Purple Mountain True Monarch has not shown up. What is he planning? Feng Yuan was getting more and more on edge. Chapter 1355, Crucial Trader. At Etion Mountain's location, around the Super Gu formation, while the demonic and righteous paths were fighting, another battle had come to an end. Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building was undamaged. It was radiating with vitality, floating silently. The huge Purple Blood River formation was near the brink of collapse. The Blood River was no more. Only a lump of red blood was left floating around randomly in the dark purple space. The eye in front of Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building. The 7 Illusions Demon Immortal was trapped in a ball of wind. Unable to escape, he had no choice but to surrender. Victory was assured. Let me see your true identity. Wu Yong was unharmed. Green light flashed across his eyes. Immediately, the rainbow-colored lights surrounding the 7 Illusions Demon Immortal vanished like clouds blown by wind, dispersing. His true identity was exposed. The 3 Righteous Path Gu Immortals were all stunned. Xiao Zhikai stared with wide-opened eyes, gasping. Yao Gong? It turned out that this 7 Illusions Demon Immortal was none other than a member of a super force, Yao Clan Gu Immortal Yao Gong. He had originally fought with Wu Yiran over stunning immortal's inheritance. During the 5th time, he had died together with Wu Yiran. His life tablet Gu and Yao clan had shattered. Everyone thought he was dead, but to think that he was the 7 illusions demon immortal. Good, very good. Yao clan is actually like this. Tai Mian Shun said coldly. Yao Geng smiled bitterly. This is my personal action. It has nothing to do with Yao clan. Wu Yong saw that he was defending his clan to the end. He was not as demonic as they had expected. He asked, "What made you think of the method to trap us?" Yao Geng's smile became even more bitter. "I already have said that I am a minor character. Or rather, I am just a pawn. I was manipulated and forced to do this. My clan has nothing to do with it." Wu Yong's expression sank slightly. "Then, the one who manipulated you is that rank 8 Gu immortal from earlier? Tell me everything about him." Yao Geng laughed loudly, tears rolling down his face. "If I say that I do not understand that person, or rather, I have spent just about as much time with him as you, will you believe me?" Tai Mian Shun interjected. "Is it because of the 7 illusions' true inheritance?" Yao Geng nodded with a bitter expression. Tai Mian Shun sighed. "To obtain the 7 illusions' true inheritance, you need to accept an information path alliance agreement. My clan analyzed and concluded that this is a trap. But what we do not understand is, there were many 7 illusions' true inheritance inheritors who did not have to execute the contents of the alliance agreement. You are the first victim." Saying this, Wu Yong and Xiao Zhikai understood. They looked towards Yao Geng with a hint of pity. At this point, what is there to say? Winner takes all. Whether you want to kill me or whatever else, it is up to you. Yao Geng sat on the ground, devoid of any fighting spirit. "Where is that rank 8 Gu immortal?" Wu Yong asked. He felt something amiss. Yao Geng said all that he knew. "I know as much as you do. I thought he was hiding inside the formation. Only until you found the crucial formation core and captured me did I realize that he had left long ago." Wu Yong heard this, and the bad feeling in his heart intensified. He quickly grunted, immobilizing Yao Geng and suppressing him in the bamboo building, before using this immortal Gu house to unleash a terrifying attack. Rumble. The Purple Blood River formation was completely destroyed. The clear sky could be seen again. The 3 Gu immortals were freed, but at this moment, before joy showed on their faces, their bodies shook. Oh no, so many days had passed. This Purple Blood River formation not only has wisdom path, blood path, phantom path, and information path effects, it even has time path methods. In this Gu formation, the 3 Gu immortals' sense of time was affected. They misjudged it. Even Wu Yong fell for it. He had always thought that the time he spent in the Purple Blood River formation was not long. But after breaking out of the Gu formation, he realized that so much time had passed. Oh no. It seems that the rank 8 Gu immortal was not trying to fight us to the death. He merely wanted to trap us. Don't tell me his real motive is. Wu Yong's heart sank. He quickly contacted his clan. The Purple Blood River formation isolated them from the outside world. They could not even connect to Treasure Yellow Heaven, not to mention their clans. Immediately, the 3 immortals contracted their clans, and soon, their expressions changed. Large amounts of information entered their minds. The 3 immortals were stunned to think that so many things had happened these last days. Gu immortals from Wu clan, Yang clan, Xiao clan, Qi clan, Chai clan, Xia clan, Ba clan, and others were engaged in a chaotic battle. Purple Mountain True Monarch's plan was to trap Wu Yong's group, creating a false image that he had died, so that Southern Borders politics would go into chaos. He had succeeded. Yang clan, Xiao clan, and Wu clan whipped up a storm for their own benefits. Right when they were engaged in a battle for profits, over at the Super Gu formation, large numbers of people assaulted it. After receiving a huge amount of distress letters, the clans fell into panic. What is happening? What guts did these demonic path Gu immortals grow? How could they attack the Super Gu formation? Not just that, even a Northern Plains Gu immortal appeared. Even a legendary immemorial desolate beast like Zui Yihui was controlled. These righteous path clans felt that it was unthinkable, but among them, there were astute people. After realizing this fact, they quickly reacted. What happened recently could be put together as a huge, shocking scheme. The mastermind's goal was the giant dream realm. Go. We will go straight to the Super Gu formation. Wu Yong was resolute. They were actually able to cause a storm in southern border. I want to see who the mastermind is. Tai Mianshan followed after that. Wu Yong had an anxious expression. My brother is still there. I hope nothing bad happened to him. At this crucial moment, Wu Yong still did not forget to maintain his reputation. Xiao Zhikai quickly cooperated. Lord Wu Yong, you care so much for your brother. You are truly loving towards your family and have a big heart, truly a role model of the righteous path. Rank 8 Immortal Gu House, clear jade, dripping wind, tiny bamboo building tore through the sky, flying towards Etian Mountain. Qi Clan First Supreme Elder was also doing the same thing. After receiving Qi Gui's distress letter, he immediately stopped contesting with Yang Clan. He brought a Qi Clan Immortal Gu House towards the Super Gu formation. Yang Clan was doing the same. Ho Clan, Yao Clan, and Shang Clan sent either Gu Immortal experts or brought their Immortal Gu houses along. These people did not know why Shadow Sect was attacking the Super Gu formation, because from start to finish, they were unclear of what truly happened on Etian Mountain. They only knew some of the information that Heavenly Court purposely leaked. They knew that Heavenly Court had interfered and that the destruction of Zombie Alliance was related to the Battle of Etian Mountain. They did not know the reason for the giant Dream Realm's creation, or that Spectral Soul's main body was inside the Dream Realm. Heavenly Court hid this information because it was afraid that some southern border super forces would help Spectral Soul. Even though they did not know the reason, this did not stop the super forces from placing great emphasis on the Super Gu formation, not only because the giant Dream Realm was there, but also because of Zhuo Yihui. This legendary, immemorial, desolate beast caused great losses and gave Southern Border's Gu Immortal World painful memories whenever it appeared. Thus, Southern Border's super forces sent their people, and even Immortal Gu houses, to deal with Zhuo Yihui. Currently, even though they were attacked by surprise, they have Qi Clan's Gu formation and Qi Clan's Gu Immortals there. They can defend themselves for the time being. While flying, Xiao Zhikai said. Tai Mianshan was silent. Wu Yong shook his head. To speak the truth, I am very worried. The other party has plotted this very deeply. Their pawns are extremely well selected. If Yao Geng was not exposed, who would have guessed that he was the 7 Illusions Demon Immortal? The other party could infiltrate a rank 7 member of a Righteous Path super force. I am afraid, saying this. Wu Yong stopped. Tai Mianshan realized as he spoke. Afraid that they have an insider within the Super Gu formation. Boom! The sneak attack was so sudden, it caught everyone unprepared. Ba Quan Feng, what are you doing? Bada shouted, attacking with rage. Ba Quan Feng was sent flying with Bada's attack. He was on the verge of death. Bada quickly struck and suppressed him before going towards Qi Gui. Qi Gui was heavily injured. His face was purple gold in color. Blood flowed out of his 7 orifices. Just earlier, his deduction succeeded. When he was at a crucial moment of activating the second layer of the Gu formation, Ba Quan Feng, who was behind him, attacked suddenly with a vicious blow. Qi Gui greatly trusted these 2 Gu immortals from Ba Clan, because earlier when he deduced the Gu formation, they were guarding him wholeheartedly. But to think that Ba Quan Feng attacked at this crucial moment, that Ba Quan Feng was just a rank 6 Wind Path Gu immortal, while Qi Gui was a rank 7 Formation Path Gu immortal, he was stronger without doubt. But earlier, Qi Gui was completely focused on the Gu formation. He could not defend himself. He was hit by Ba Quan Feng when unguarded. Qi Gui not only suffered from Ba Quan Feng's attack, the Gu formation activation failed, and he suffered a huge backlash. The next moment, he was near death, unable to do anything anymore. Ba Quan Feng. Bada screamed. His eyes were red. He stared at Ba Quan Feng that if he did not witness this, he would never believe that Ba Quan Feng was a traitor of the enemy. Surrender, Lord Bada. Just surrender. You do not know how the enemy truly is. Ba Quan Feng was in poor shape. His aura was weak and his expression was pale. He was close to dying. Bada, however, saved him from the brink of dying. You will not die so easily. Trust me. The clan will place judgment upon you. Living will be scarier than dying. You will have a fate worse than death. Bada gritted his teeth, hearing his words. He truly hated this traitor to the MAX. Ba Quan Feng was very vicious. Undoubtedly, his choice of timing was impeccable. Right when they were about to succeed, He struck and destroyed the righteous path's hope. Not only did he hurt Qi Gui, he even destroyed the newly added earth path, immortal Gu. Without the second layer of the super Gu formation, the righteous path was bound to lose.